Welcome back to Beginner Yoga. This is a flow that is designed for deep, slow, relaxed stretches. And it's intended to maybe be a way to unwind before bed. Nice and calm. I'm not going to have any music and I'm not going to be talking the whole time. So maybe find something that you like to listen to that's nice and peaceful. In yoga, we call this yin yoga, and that means we're going to hold the poses for 1 to 2 minutes. Sometimes in yin, they go for 3 to 5 minute poses. But we're going to keep this nice and simple, and when you revisit it on your own, you're welcome to hold the poses for as long as you'd like. I'm going to recommend that you have a couple pillows here to get started. The more the merrier. The more pillows you have, the easier some of these early stretches will be. I like at least 2 because I have some tight hips. This is a bolster, but this can be replicated by a couple other bigger pillows. And then if you'd like, you can also have a blanket handy so you can cover up if you get cold, or maybe use it to pad some places and help your body relax. It's nice to take some of these and maybe put them underneath your knees when you're trying to get a little bit of that ground contact and you want to relax a little bit more. So let's start out with wide-legged forward fold. This is one that you'll remember from your life probably, but I like to have the pillows underneath, and it helps me kind of lean into this a little bit more. So take a deep breath and settle in as much as you can. This is a good time to use a bolster if you'd like. It's nice to have something to lean on. We're going to hold this for 10 breaths. Start nice and slow. Keep those breaths long and calm. Here we're going to be feeling it in our hamstrings, and you can try to breathe that breath all the way into your hamstrings and make that burn a little bit softer. Shouldn't be feeling any tension in your spine. If you are, don't feel like you need to bend quite as far as you're bending. As you relax, you might find yourself being able to go a little bit deeper. Now on this next, we're going to bring our feet in together, bottoms of our feet. You want plenty of space here. You're welcome to bring your feet closer to your body, but the further out, the easier this is going to be. So just find out wherever your comfort level is. We're going to do another forward fold here. This time you're going to feel it be more in your hips than in the hamstrings. Great opportunity to use the bolster. We're going to hold this for 10 more breaths. Once again, just like the previous pose, the more pillows that we have underneath our hips, the easier this is going to be. And if it's a little too easy, obviously feel free to move on down to the floor. If you're able to, try to bring your chest towards your feet rather than just your forehead. Come up nice and slow to a seated position. If you have pillows like me, you're going to want to get rid of those for a little while. And we're going to keep our bottoms of our feet together, but we are going to slowly work on laying down. Once again, the closer you bring your feet towards your body, the more difficult you're going to feel this be. If this is too much, you can take some pillows and put them underneath your knees here on the outside, but I like to just let them hang. Once again, we're doing this for 10 breaths. On the 10th breath, we're going to put our feet flat on the ground, bring our knees together. Now this one, we're going to start by getting a little twisting going on. So if you aren't super flexible, you can just start by twisting over to the right. I'd rather you keep both of your shoulder blades on the ground than twist all the way over. But maybe if you're able to do both and you're not getting much of this, you can scoot your hips over to the left, cross your left knee over your right knee, and bring that knee down to the floor. You can bring your arms up like a cactus if you'd like. Bring a little bit more action into that stretch. Now if you crossed your legs, you can uncross them first. Bring your hips back underneath you. And now let's do the other side. Remember, you're more than welcome just to twist over here. And remember, keeping your shoulder blades down to the mat is more important than twisting all the way. You can let gravity tug on you a little bit. And then if you're able to get your knees to the ground, you can come back up to center. Shift your hips over to the right side of the mat. Cross your right leg over your left leg. And drop back down. Maybe at this point, you find something that you're thankful for today. Now we can uncross our legs, come back up to center, shift our hips back in between. Let's go ahead and sit up. Now we should be starting to open up a little bit, and we are going to get into those deeper hip stretches here. Let's bring our left shin up parallel to the front of the mat. And then we're going to turn our right leg down in, kick our foot back behind us. You should start to see this 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. And then we're going to try to lean back and get comfortable. The further back you lean, the more this right hip is going to light up. But don't let it be painful. Find your edge, play with it a little bit, nice and gentle. You don't want to be using any strength here, just relax. And if this is too much for you, don't be afraid just to sit up tall. Now let's shift our weight back forward. Before we move on to the other side, let's do this stretch that's commonly called Pigeon, but I don't expect anybody to know that. And we're going to try to sink our right leg further and further back, try to get it directly behind us. The more you leave your shin parallel to the top of the mat, the more difficult this is going to be. But you don't want any pain in your knee, and if you need to get comfortable, you're welcome to bring that ankle back closer to your groin. If this is enough for you, feel free to enjoy it right here. You can take that bolster, maybe put it under your chest. But if you're ready for a little more, you can rock that hip up off the ground and really feel it back here in the glute, butt muscle. I'm going to grab my bolster, try to get comfy. If you don't have a big bolster, you can just come down to your elbows. Remember, you're welcome to stay over here on your side, if that's enough for you. Or the more you bring your weight and hips over to center, the more difficult this can be. Also, you can, that's not enough for you, you can get rid of that bolster, come down, maybe bring your forehead to the mat. Slowly shift your weight back into your hands, come up a little bit. Now let's bring that right knee back behind our left knee so that we're sitting kind of crossways like this. Then we can sit on back onto our butt. Now for the more flexible, the closer you bring your knees out to 90 degrees, the more difficult this can become. But don't hesitate to have a nice bend in that knee so that you can get comfortable. And I'm going to try to relax my forehead here on my top knee. You should be feeling this kind of coming out of your hips a little bit and more over into this IT band over here on the left side of your left leg. And if you bring your shins more to that 90 degrees line in front of you, you can start to bring in that right hip as well. But make sure you listen to your body. This is your practice. This is your evening. Do what feels good. we can rock our weight back forward. And now we're going to do those 3 things on the other side. Feel free to shake out that leg a little bit if you need to. Bring our right knee forward. Our right shin parallel to the top of the mat. Our left knee, bring it up 90 degrees here, 90 degrees here. And then we're going to move our hands back behind us. Try to get comfortable. The further back you bring your hands, the more difficult this can be. If this is enough for you, feel free to sit nice and tall. If you need a cushion underneath you, you can. And if you need a little bit more, walk those hands back. Now, as we come out of there, we can walk our hands back forward. Start to work our way back into that pigeon pose. Remember, the more difficult it's going to be, the more your shin bone is parallel to the top of the mat. But to make this easy and comfortable and find the good stretch that's right for you, feel free to let this ankle come back in closer. There should be no pain in your knee. You'll always protect your knee. If you are having a little bit of knee engagement issue, you can flex this right ankle a little bit, and it kind of tightens everything up in a way that, for me, helps my body. Don't hesitate to keep your hips over here down on the mat if that's enough for you. You can elevate them if you really want to get into here. done there, we can bring our weight back up to our hands. Bring our left knee back behind our right knee. Sit back down. Remember, if you're looking for a little bit more, you can bring these shins out in front of you. But otherwise, sit nice and tall. And then you can lean forward a little bit if you're ready to get in there. Now we can sit up tall. Slowly unwind these legs. And then in order to wrap it up, we are going to do one last stretch. I like to start by putting the bottoms of my feet together and grabbing the bottom of my feet underhanded like this, cup them, and then we can slowly rock our way back. This one is called Happy Baby. You'll often see babies doing this. Now, if you're feeling nice and flexible, you can explore what feels nice. Maybe straighten the legs, or you can just relax your back down to the ground. Now we can slowly let our body down, our feet back down to the mat. Maybe if you'd like, grab that blanket. We're going to take a moment, thank ourselves for giving ourselves the opportunity to stay present here on the mat. take a little piece of our day out just for us. We're gonna check in with the body. Think about your toes, relax your toes. Think about your ankles, relax your ankles. Check in with those calves, relax your calves. Think about your knees. Make sure your knees are relaxed. You can come on up to those quads. Make sure we're relaxing those. Now our hamstrings. Disengage all of those. Up to the glutes, our butt muscles. And all those hip flexors that we stretched so good today. Up to your abs. Relax your abs. Go to those back muscles. Make sure those are relaxed too. Come up to your shoulders. Let those fall to the mat. Nice and open. Feel those pectorals, those chest muscles. Make sure those are relaxed. Our biceps and our triceps. Forearms. All those little tiny muscles in our hands. The thumbs and the fingers. Come up to your shoulders and your neck. Make sure those are relaxed. Take one more deep breath, knowing that everything's relaxed. I'm going to encourage you to spend a few minutes here. But I'm going to go ahead and call it a day and wrap up this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for giving yourself the time to do some yoga and really just wrap up that day in a nice relaxing way that'll set you up for a better tomorrow. I have plenty of other videos, yoga on my channel. Feel free to check them out. They're all focused for beginners, because I'm a beginner teacher, so I teach beginner classes. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.